you're at it, have him explain how they managed to see while wearing the mask since they don't
already kind of a villain. He just started just, you know, working on like, oh, it makes sense you make his suits. He knew.
world game. I don't really feel like using the fast travel whenever I need to.
Could have been better. Agree with, because it could have been a better experience, but I feel like they knocked it out of the park with this game. I understand the gaming aspect, story-wise. Another reaction today, guys. I'm checking out GameSins. Everything wrong with Marvel Spider-Man. The comparisons to this game and the Batman Arkham games, especially Arkham Knight, which is like, and being Mr. Negative, as I believe that was. Now that I think this video was put out before his death, but that I made a lot of comparisons, and there are people
who had the antivirus and Devil's Breath had been released into the city. Still no catch up with those.
There's 100% legit people that are like really upset with the games. Now this thing is over 24 minutes long. I'm not 100% sure if I'm the newspapers at the beginning. You know, they're established villains that are.
Later.
It's just cool. Pausing throughout, responding to some of them, and I think at one point I got MJ, and it would have changed the story drastically.
This game is climb up a tower. The other suit is the suit power, which only gives you a limited time period where you have unlimited spider gadgets. Only worked last time. You realize what this means, right? They also have from the secret room for a lot of them.
Yeah, it's true. That is true. Explain what he is. He's a mutated individual. But I think they're saving that for the sequel.
Secure environment. Yes. Peter has never heard of backups or cloud storage. After chickening out, I'm asking you to assume he's talking about puberty.
Yeah.
Sequel baiting.
Hey, I'm fine with sequel.
Turned into friendly neighborhood meth labs almost immediately over the course of one cutscene. Manhattan, worse.
I was surprised at this scene. Very surprised. But whatever. Clark. She's Superman. No. Difficulty when you do New Game Plus, but yeah, good shit. This is my reaction and discussion. Active.
The mask his gang wears. He has no reason to trap time bomb. You could do any number of things to stop it from working.
To GameSins, everything wrong with Spider-Man. I'm curious to know what you guys thought about this video.
Having a conversation while being blocks apart. New York traffic directed every single one.
And him to say, "You were always my favorite couple," and that was breakout, my guess.
First and final. Stay out of.
They did a great job of what they did, because I mean the last couple of Spider-Man games. But this one, I think, probably don't know a lot about Spider-Man. They just heard it's a great game, so they're going to check it out. I mean, with the technology he's building and responding, reacting, whatever, to what's being said in terms of what's being sent. Then I like Miles in this game, too.
The superhero. Wrecked by a helicopter carrying a transformer. He was in a prison armory.
That is a good point. Why would you?
Crashing. Either the prison or public laboratories that anyone could use. Peter's webbing was able to hold up a falling construction crane earlier in the game.
Sequences where you're playing. He knew.
Your secret's safe. 5 years ago, you walked into all those demon guards Spider-Man webbed up in this elevator shaft.
You just
call that meth. You might want to scale down your controller a bit, Doc.
Meth.
That thing outclassed until near the end of the game, and his irrationality is explained away with a brain implant. Also,
citywide, every tower.
How?
Dr. Octopus. This is just Dr. Octavius. It was a change. I mean, Lee was that villain, and he.
And a rent pass due notice is not the same. On villains has me waiting for the inevitable heel turn. It's mostly shot up an entire film that I've ever witnessed. This must be another of those games that a former BioShock developer coffee table to give away the.
Some of them were covered, and some of them I don't agree with. That you.
Yeah, they decide to carry on with the rally like nothing ever happened.
Yeah, they probably should postpone.
One of the city's finest officers.
So that makes sense. Why all the stuff.
Rent notice 5 feet away, no less. The web slinging in this game is so well done that for the first time ever in an open.
Big critique is I don't know why he sends Stanley. I feel like because when it's same thing with Clark Kent with his glasses, he takes his glasses off. He's Superman put glasses on. Okay, he's just.
Surgery and.
I like the design of the suit though. I like it.
Left it since she carried it with her during her search of Fisk's art gallery.
Hey, Pete.
That's the voice of Lord Trust exercise ever.
Will help me secure.
But it worked.
Still not going to kill you. Arrive in 30 minutes or he releases the virus.
Point of his death.
Between Spider and Man. This line made me realize that Spider-Man as the autocorrect of Super had been canceled as well. Inspires me. While I generally like how this game develops Lee and Octavius, just knowing that they will be.
Oh no, not me. So maybe he should change his voice a little bit.
You already broke the voice.
Sends or whatever. So if there's bits and pieces where I'm not really.
First off, thanks once again, Exposition News Network. You've been very
for Doc Ock.
You're bound to be a target. We even visit a party with people dressed as Spider. What exactly does Aunt May and Miles expect Peter to do about escaped prisoners threatening to shelter uptown?
And he really does.
How long will that take? Hours. Yeah, you didn't do that back when you.
Remember why we broke up?
It was the radioactive semen, right?
Jesus.
Plugged him from there. This is an air dispersal device that isn't even finished. Not a booby.
Between Vulture and Electro is awesome, and like together, oh, it's kind of difficult, especially on Ultimate.
Stand a much better chance.
You know, it's only on PS4, and anybody who has a PS4 has the opportunity to get the game. So I mean,
Whatsoever to reveal anything he knows about it. He was built specifically to combat Octavius. What makes it good at countering Dr. Octopus, I couldn't tell you.
responding now. I'm not 100% sure about this channel.
Men like us.
That is a good point. But then things go wrong.
Left blueprints on his
Channels out there that are some are one.
killed police
I was surprised they did this, and my thought was, oh, yeah, he's working with Doc Ock. He doesn't, and obviously this is Doc Ock before he becomes. How come they were able to fix him and help him without removing it still functioning correctly? So I think it just added something. Okay, point.
This is the first of many pegboards full of news clippings about Spider-Man and his villain of our men.
Video continued. It showcased that he was working on certain stuff. I don't know. My guess, he thought he knew both of them. Damn it.
Spider-Man survives this.
Realized that Peter had a relationship as Peter Parker, not as Spider-Man having. It's insanity.
Laws to prevent evictions like this, where all of your stuff is dumped in the garbage while you're not in.
It's true.
That's the sound of our disbelief hitting the brakes and will serve as Spider-Man's Commissioner Gordon.
Yeah.
And going so far. Jeff is holding a taser. Yet that round he put through the truck windshield was clearly could have simply said he's never seen it before.
Demons, huh?
Yeah, he could have.
Back when Scorpion's sticking, including removing the virus vial from it.
Mm.
A responsibility.
It's a nice change of a black suit with the yellow. Pretty cool.
Actually the best fight in the game.
Okay, thank you for removing the sin. Like the fight sequences between the villain. I like this fight.
This has to be the world's slowest origin story, just not for the hero.
But he's playing.
This equipment, I think I can handle it. His suit and mask.
Yeah, that's something too. How?
Raise awareness for her upcoming movie. Peter.
Well, her upcoming movie is probably not going to happen. I think the voice actors did both. For Lee to end up being a bad guy and then Doc Ock becoming a bad guy. Her bodysuit for that sequence, but whatever.
On May is dying
Yeah.
cliche.
With the gang connection, because Spider-Man's a human.
In here and told me you were inspired by my mission to help. Found a person's room to accomplish the same purpose. I suppose it depends on which I'm forcing a bullet. Jeff
Yep.
survives this. Wasn't even wearing a seatbelt.
Stand out to the differences. So, but
Modifications you can make to a toaster. I hope your webbing is edible because you just spray.
just open elevator. It just made no sense. I don't know. If it's the same guy talking to him minutes later, meh. Don't think about it. Kind of respond to it and kind of give my thoughts on the game as well in terms of what you were talking about.
Otto should consider a lawsuit. Osborn is shutting down a city grant.
Oh, this is like a running theme, I guess.
When I saw you.
That doesn't.
That this was the truck carrying the device used in the Grand Central Terminal.
Push the wires from the battery first. Trace the wires to the other end and
Send Stanley's cameo. But you made some really good points.
Worked on because they stuck
These
that
little
annoying
mini
pipe
games,
puzzle
eh.
in it. On a side note, I can't be the only one who's company equipment and the
Yeah.
internet goes offline. No, you just wanted to add goddamn radio.
You know, this is a long freaking video. I don't want this video to go on for fucking ever.
On Peter on the raft, it didn't give him the dark web mushrooms experience.
Go baiting, because it's a really good game. It's just pretty heartbreaking. It was a really cool moment on a level, on a personal level.
Are going to the scare.
Stanley.
you two together.
It's all just set up because well, if you play the game, you know that she knows he's Spider.
You with Spider-Man's suit.
Yep.
Because underneath you, and one of you is jumping around using shockwaves. Some might even say this is
Helping him. He's slowly over time throughout the game, which I think was hit it. Whatever thoughts you have, let me know in the comment section below, guys. I will talk to you guys soon. Peace out. I think it was interesting that Dr. Octavius, the guy who was just trying
who I am a huge fan of and just spoke to 5 minutes ago. His breath has been stolen from.
points. And obviously with me, it's like, look, a relationship, some sort of relationship with the villains.
He could never be expected to deal with. People sleep on him. Hey Jeff.
Chin up a little.
Congrats on the ceremony today. I'll be glad when it's over.
A certain way, and they're the opposite. Were established.
Inside the city, or the rest
Point.
of the country for that matter.
Making some good points. And so, with everything else, besides the Stan Lee bit where he was developing all of their suits, so my guess is yes, he probably got them. Their.
Free to continue.
I wish they would have had more of him. It makes no sense. As a man bun, you know the program. You know he. Well, he's Spider-Man, right?
Crash Yuri. I really question what kind of use you.
Still not gonna kill you.
I can't imagine they survived this. It would be bad form.
They did not.
Halloween party where multiple people dress up as Spider.
Really well done. Became
This is why CDC, where
4 minutes. I'm guessing we're gonna be covering spoilers. So spoilers if you haven't played the game. Spider-Man, because of all the stuff he had laying out with. There's a lot of them, but whatever. Yeah, that should have been. That should have been. I don't know. I think it's just because he's saying Peter Parker and MJ were all do.
and that stuff went everywhere.
Yeah, I bet there's probably
Money problems
fictional
would disappear
movies
if they
about
just marketed
superheroes.
themselves a bit. What makes you think that would ever work?
Games. I don't think it's a copy. There are some.
Now it's you.
Came out late last year in 2018. This is everything wrong with that game.
Take a bag, a few boxes, and turn off a monitor or two, and consider that a complete seizure.
You tell me someone sabotaged the central server, and now all the towers are offline.
So, John
Disagreed, and I mentioned.
I'm trying to help you, Otto.
reversing to look again with mouse agape that stands.
Weird things that
Cool meeting. We'll get pictures.
Down yet?
Prepared to hunt down the demons. However, if you pay opening narration to quick.
I'm going to take this as it is, as they're sending stuff, and it's over 20
And is he worried about the comics revealing his identity to anyone who reads them? All these
parodies. Some are half parody, half.
location. I mean, there's only an open balcony that someone who can give you up to 30 days notice before eviction.
I just said all this,
You can start guessing
basically.
the lines you'll hear. Spider-Man's greatest enemies. You're basically idolizing mass murderers.
Yep.
One reason.
Is pretty damn great. There are some issues and some
Yeah, we know.
the game. I mean, it could have been handled better, but I just like how they switched it up because it's one major flaw. But if she did, she would have.
a truck full of armed demons scares me less than public space.
Everything else, so far from what I remember, was just New York. But
Catchy name.
Really? That's a catchy.
okay, I see that. I see the point in that. I mean, there's some narration. There's showcase. You made some good points about the fact that and then for them to sit next to a Spider-Man cosplayer or to someone dressed up as Spider-Man, and you can just talk to. They just use the news just to convey important information, just bypass it, right?
I'm trying to track down some. You okay?
If he makes it out of that building, we're gonna lose him.
Would you really? It's Manhattan. I think you
Point. He should have put that mask away sooner. He should have wore an entire.
app instead of post-it notes. Also, since one of your notes
Man, maybe they should have switched that up a little bit. Oh, here we come.
roof of the police station, not exactly trying the chopper was your plan. Did you never consider?
I love
the
this sequence. It's so good. So good. Game after the Arkham franchise has been so successful.
Ones that will show up in the game. It's as if every bastard who's seen something hard to differentiate this game from the Arkham games, are they?
Okay, now we're getting into the
Climb up walls could easily reach, unlike MJ,
Point.
who has to sneak past security.
Programs,
You know
okay.
he programs. What happens? Peter constructs a new suit.
Been going on.
Even works is does Peter get royalty checks from Disney to watch? Peter Parker
Okay, I'll pause here.
on that subway train derailing it so hard that it shoots through the ceiling and onto the street is not going to end well for the rap.
Exactly. Yeah,
Spider Terrarium
exactly. After they broke out, I will not speak further on this. I'm going to move on and be a good. Sable should have thoroughly checked that room that MJ was in. Of course, the spider's there to get on this guy. It would have been just a waste.
here right now, such as "This isn't you" and
I think I was incorrect on that. Successful. They're going to get comparisons.
"Flush." Just a second.
Mask on, then no one recognizes the voice. But regardless, even before he died, what?
Funded research lab to even though there's a smash
Because that. I think it was just a nice visual change. Because
campaign rally for Osborn with suicide bombers. Had that been canceled for Spider?
Remember how you told me about
became Doc Ock. Became.
Without the grant from the city, I can no longer pay you.
Well, considering
It's a parody because.
line than a genome soldier.
Yeah, they could have done a better job at these.
Back of a truck like we did.
A disappointment.
Is it really that hard to figure out? He already saw
Connection with both these guys, and they both go bad in the same game. Clearly, what they set up at the end. Yeah.
Silver Sable is a mercenary Osborn high on the unicorn of city sanitation workers. One that will actually pick up the phone and answer your questions. Kept all the suits worn by supervillains here on the assets without taking any of the expensive equipment or robotic limbs Octavius was developing. Where I come from, we have eye holes.
That's point.
Makes these fries.
Totally. Best in the city.
Grades or whatever. Like we find.
Right now is a much better place to fix him up.
Lee's corrupting touch? I think I just saw it in action.
So when MJ and Miles have to sneak around on foot,
Regardless of.
Jeff is throwing up so many death flags. He
That's something they should have thought up. I mean, Doc Ock is gonna find out. He's gonna put it together. He put it together.
Mix can't be that great. He didn't give you any ketchup for your fries and only serves canned soda.
That's true.
No, we're at Fisk Tower, but still waiting.
But also there was, you know, parts that I do
Notice just how much devs brag about being former BioShock developers. Yuri will...
yeah, their suits or they actually boy.
It has to be hard. Spider-Man in his room. And the only questions I have
Yep.
beyond how that... So unless you fully decontaminate...
Oh my
before
God.
removing the mask,
Points.
You will still be infected. This will get through character backstory or a...
By itself, it's just New York. So I think it was a nice visual. Was going to happen, but yeah, she should.
On the warrant.
Well, there's your problem. You started the operation before you even had a warrant to arrest Fisk. It says rent. You should not be...
I think the problem is no matter.
Attention, you will notice she doesn't actually do anything in the game. It feels more like she's here to help a useful aftermarket mod.
Spider-Man.
Isn't about safety infractions, is it?
It all over your toast.
Yeah, that is kind of gross.
Which are useless against Octavius.
Laying out probably is not a good idea. Okay, that's fine. Whatever.
Parker has a copy of the Amazing Spider that doesn't hang back and let Spider-Man deal with everything, but he should really hang ensuring they would be turned. You must not have been paying him much.
It's a good point. Now was controlling the Sinister Six. Cool though, pulling them out, but it makes no sense to them stand at a random openly. Sets us up hopefully to play as Miles Spider-Man in the sequel at some point. Here we go.
Must have been planned from
Love
the
this
outside.
sequence.
Every cell block will be
Dad's gonna die. Oh boy.
Maybe I'm just a guy who doesn't give up.
By the dialogue established by
Some perfectly nice home.
in case you weren't aware, in the opening about
Benefit his own company that he is still somehow CEO of while being the mayor.
yeah. And what are your thoughts overall about Spider-Man PS4? Do you love it? Do you like it? Dislike?
Heroes, because no other hero with man or woman in the name bothers as well.
That's it. Okay.
Just a side project.
In terms of if this is a gaming sins like video where it,
Veterans Center in Harlem. What's wrong?
Men from Rikers are demanding food and supplies.
Yuri, I forget how to say his last name, but
Peter had time to go through it. It comes off as awkward, and the demons are more fully sealed suits when handling biological agents.
that is a good point.
New suit during the time it took Octavius to
He makes a big decision here, man. So far, okay.
for trained technicians who would be on call and low scroll past photos and items littered around.
Here, please be here.
The voice actor for Spider.
Your memoirs?
Cameos are now appearing in video games. So why in the ever-loving hell is it an airborne virus name? Are you that easily impressed?
I think it was
When shutting down
sarcasm.
Octavius's lab.
So I like how they slowly built it. I'm fine with it. It's something you can't escape.
A truck. As it does now. It's going to a lot of trouble to set up a reason for Miles having spider powers if the intention was to administer it through injection. A little late in
There's points where they use the news, like
giving him an easy court victory. Well done. You have to wonder what Fisk is hoping to Norman Osborn's people.
ones are pretty damn good. I think Doctor's really well done. But there you have it, guys. That's my reaction. That's my thoughts on this gaming sins on TV. The main component for him to travel. Now there's fast traveling, as was mentioned. That is a good
your
point.
tentacles are now contaminated with the virus. As well as
Yep.
your clothes, hair, and skin.
It really
Might as well talk about
will change something to switch it up.
I think this medical laboratory you were in accomplished by finding the cops in the street. He would
That is a good point. They could have done a better job. But who knows? Maybe.
or Bailey, once again starring in a game alongside Troy. Wait, why would you ever store a rocket launcher? Really belongs to. Don't move. Fighting in court with high-priced attorneys.
and lock down the airspace.
Out stuff
Exactly, planning to become a villain after the.
for us. And maybe. I don't know.
Which would be incredibly stupid, or in the course of one evening, Dr. Octopus found them ago, so I can only assume the tentacles retract inside his body when not in use.
Possibly giving them new suits. You didn't cover Aunt May's death.
Well, you know, you're at that age where you're
Did you
Yeah.
have to make them look that evil with glowing claws and spikes? You weren't.
A Spider-Man comic, and it's fine because there are some people that have played this game. I guess the idea.
Rocket launchers.
homeless people just jumped me. Thing is, they had glowing eyes.
Where Peter can't even afford.
I don't know. Venom was really successful, so they're working on Morbius. So
This on ruining my regular voice actor's sin. Blew his landlord into his identity later when said person evicts him and throws out all of his stuff.
No, I'm just glad you're here.
You sound suspiciously like Spider-Man.
and legitly, and then
Diseases, but actually due to the commotion his men caused at the construction site, his plan would have
penthouse, whatever
Manhattan apartment.
the
apartment.
super wealthy. The better question would be, why Osborn?
Guys, the staff are barricaded inside, but they need help.
Convenient. On a certain level, he knew Doc Ock because he was working for Octavius. It is pretty crushing for us geeks, nerds, whatever. Human side where he doesn't have to put the mask on. He doesn't have to be
Almost as if with great power comes something.
something. That's true. Yeah.
Instead of telling you to fuck off.
That is a good point. I mean, if he would not have been able to get a hold of that, or what anybody does in terms of a superhero game, breaking the fourth wall.
Nobody's watching a superhero movie.
There's a lot of gaming sins.
Listen for Dr. Octavius, and he's the only one there other than the doc.
Point. Octopus, that was a great fight, but yeah, the fight scene, basically, that's what it was. It was the Sinister Six.
Tiring from the force and going on that vacation he always promised with his wife.
Yeah.
Better guard this empty elevator shaft with
It's a video game,
no
whatever.
matter of hours right after his
Just-
life-saving surgery.
Little loading thing, but hey, it's just people, and that was a big factor too, because if the web slinging was clunky,
Very busy in this game.
Yes,
Second,
they
that
have.
was twice now the Devils are ready to surface valuable.
but I don't think anybody really uses it besides just getting photo mode or whatever. Because at one point you can.
The biggest threats to the city.
Why? Hey everybody, it's Chainsaw reacts back once again. Miles to.
Deal with everything. This fight is 99% Spider-Man,
Yeah.
1% Jeff.
That's true. They should have gave him more to.
To things going wrong, that raises the question whether that would be considered fiction or based on true stories, since this is a world with superheroes.
But you know, people have different opinions. It's all.
When did Jeff get Spider-Man's number? Why would one of
That's a
Fisk's
good
men
question.
overseeing one of his properties?
How did he get
Outside my dumpster number.
Peter?
with the disease he had?
Spectacular Spider-Man.
Spectacular.
And you're the
Sorry, I'm late, man. Oh no.
Around the same time, and Lee ends up working for Doc Ock.
Have a duty.
To get a sin for that. The web slinging was awesome in this game. I'm fine with this. I like the sequence. Well, if you look, he was developing MJ or Miles, and you're having to sneak around. The one I really
By making Lee and Otto both sympathetic villains whom Peter is close to, it leads to the exact same conflict in
but I guess the thinking is if he has an open world type esque like Spider-Man.
Who's there?
Must have been nothing.
Or in terms of what this person was saying in this video, stand out and not because to me it's not a copy of the Batman Arkham game, or it just it's also makes the story boring if you do all that. Just a couple tries to figure it out. But I'm like, I got this. But I really like that they added that into. Yeah, I can see it. That's true. Should have added that too.
Back and let Spider-Man kills people by attacking their immune system.
Just, you know, it's just there. Into the story.
And furthermore,
I mentioned about Dr. Octavius confiscated and took out all of his shit out of his apartment. How did they not figure out this was Stan Lee?
this is the original Xbox Duke controller.
Yeah.
Room in his penthouse.
A little too good.
Back to being useless.
Exactly.
God, I can't wait for my movie to get here.
Still, I don't know if I moved the entire video, but I'll be pausing throughout. It's something that it just. Okay.
Devil's Breath is a CRISPR-based retrovirus designed to cure genetic meeting Spider-Man
like your-
than a homeless shelter. Somehow they managed to perform surgery on Peter without ever removing.
Items that were accidentally picked up from a dumpster.
Regardless of how it's phrased, to see his
Evan thinks they're clever. Despite the different headlines, the text on these two articles is identical, and the text. I mean, come on.
like with Miles especially is the Rhino one. That was really cool. To me, I didn't make this video to bash the creator. I made this video to
Smartphone, Peter. It's not too late. Think of all the good you've done.
But-
just a bit of copy-paste lorem ipsum gibberish about
Yep.
far, far away places. You
I'm
have
gonna thoroughly check that room. This is that Dr. Octavius found their suits and gave it to them, but he knew Lee.
Crow royalty checks for this sequence.
Oh, okay. Another comparison. Gadgets and actual written. Yeah,
You had
point.
no warrant when you went in. You just violated his rights. He's not in this game. First Travis, now Laura. Why does this game
Cover that I
it actually acts like a cop?
suits. The Night of the Man was great too. Fight him.
Diagrams and sketches for spider gadgets in Peter's apartment will not
Throws everything off because he had a.
didn't learn anything from 5 minutes ago. Where do his tentacles go? He's Spider-Man, but given the current context, this seems like you're asking Peter to deal with something. That has to be the quickest reassuring
Great.
on his shelf. Then
For MJ.
I can see the game wants to move on. without
And of
addressing
course-
it, so I was in the sequel.
Yep.
Wait, hold on.
It's too late.
Worse,
Makes
start using a notification.
Spider-Man, I'm
Point.
Is always.
I have a direct line to Mayor Osborn.
So does Lee. He just called him and told him
that his brain's
Body starts to change.
Miles is already way too old for the same day. Lee was planning to bomb the camp. What are the odds that Peter would be working for both of the men who will become the...
are actually upset with this game and are actually sending it. Wait, did you just send Stan Lee?
It's a little implausible, since Lee knows his...
Maybe we should have done that. Spider-Man 2 reference. So, to me, I think it really added some emotional moments to...
This game could be a direct continuation of Sam Raimi's Spider-Man movies. There were a lot of people...
But it's comparisons of the Arkham series. How she goes to into the not the mansion, the big apartment, and the little puzzle mini games. Those, you know, what is he really called? He's not a mutant.
When retracted, I mean, his back was... Spider-Man.
I'm fine with them doing the slow setup for Dr. Octavius because I don't know. But yeah, this game to me, I think there's narration and the side scroll. So I mean, he mentioned both. Tardix is the name. But all the other villains...
Fine in Lee's case because the plot doesn't play coy with him for very long, while Otto doesn't go back too. Peter misses out on the obvious line that he was just making a costume for Halloween.
I don't know.
You're building. What's your excuse going to be?
It's fine, Parker. I invented this.
Yeah,
Son,
they should.
before also taking the devil's breath and staging the prison break.
Trying to do his research. Peter Parker's
Simultaneous fight against Electro and Vulture is actually...
They may cut that out because...
with a hyphen.
If you think this will be
Yeah.
more than a minor inconvenience.
Well, maybe there might
Your men just...
similarities, yes. But there's some unique things as well that make Spider-Man. Something wrong with Spider-Man? Let's go.
I'm not sure what's more annoying. Oh, get across the city.
Yeah.
No, I still do.
Like physically. Oh.
Oh. Sorry, good. But yeah, I can see the comparisons. I think it just makes more of a human voice my favorite couple that Marvel ever did. Alright, so there you have it. Gaming sins for whatever, or they're just really frustrated at things, so they're pointing out all the things they didn't like. So I'm not 100% sure.
Don't forget the hype.
But without further ado, let's get into now. Game sins, everything.
Hey, I had a schedule to keep.
Did you take him?
Okay, so you remove that's making it to the point where he can't move his arms and legs anymore. Like he's losing the capacity to do that.
Putting on the mask, Doc.
Parker.
Video towers in this game. The only difference from his making notes to remind you to buy J. Jonah Jameson a dozen red roses and a birthday present for you.
Everything wrong with Spider-Man. A very well done video. My only real problem is that you anything. Recent PS4 game for Spider-Man that came in having all the sticky notes, but also having a phone. And then when someone confident
might be needed to deal with that situation. And why would the demons put together two big jobs or somehow stumbled upon?
First of all, they made Doc Ock his
Of course.
where he's working through.
Going with you.
Where's the catch up? I need some. Was felt weird, then it would not be a good Spider-Man game because that is. Well, yeah, I can see where Scarecrow might be like, you fucking copy me, bro. Include the entirety of this video in my reaction/discussion because I'm to them. Like it's a weird
Spider-Man finds MJ's camera hanging on a shelf, a place that she never looked.
catch up.
What promotion is there to get? Peter works as a researcher, so he trail a very large rich man pretty easily.
The Arkham games are great in their own right, and I think Spider-Man has enough differences to make it, which I feel like just should not have happened. But
You're telling me he can't do the same trick with a wooden floor?
He should have
Dr.
been.
Ock, the sign-
and then working with Lee, but it would make sense for Spider-Man to do that because he knows both of them, or at least that is a good point. Yeah, he gets thrown out.
Hey guys, what's up? It's Totally Tubular Man 66. Today I'm coming out with a brand new video. We're gonna be reacting to a person who reacted to Dylan the Dead's video. It was pretty good, man. People wanted me to react to it, so that's what we're gonna do today. Let's get right into the news and the video. Cool.